This video anyway. I got a message the other day of some dude, and he just like kind of followed me out of nowhere on Instagram, and he was one of these like forex guys. If you know anything about like forex, like trading, obviously it's pretty interesting scene. Let's just say that. And I got this message from this guy, and I just thought, oh, maybe I can chat this guy up. Because I checked his profile and everything, what he was doing. He didn't really have anything of a funnel to offer whatever the hell it was that he was trying to push. I think it was some kind of forex mentorship, whatever. Anyway, and this dude had reached out. So I then went and checked his stuff up. I kept him led him on for a little bit just to buy myself some time, figure out who he was, what he was doing, whether or not he'd actually be useful. Obviously this is really rookie stuff, man. If you're trying to actually chat up somebody that you can just tell is just not it. And I went through all his posts and everything, and it's just it just seemed like he had very little engagement with anything, no comments on any posts, but a bunch of likes. So it's just okay, this guy's definitely bought stuff. He's definitely bought the likes and what engagement he has got. And I just thought, okay, this guy's just dodgy as hell. And the way he was talking to me, it sounded extremely scripted. It was barely coherent English. And I was just okay, screw this, man. So I just cut him off and was just whatevs. But the thing is, what you can learn from this is that I didn't trust this guy because I didn't know who he was, right? He had absolutely nothing that he could really use to show that he was a credible guy and that he was actually out here trying to sell something. Maybe he was, right? I don't know if he was or not. It's kind of hard to say, but obviously I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't know that if he was actually trying to be legit or not. But this is because he had nothing there. Basically, he had nothing beyond just kind of random Instagram posts, which you can never really tell are legit or not. And obviously, none of them had any comments on them. All the stuff was just it seemed weird, and there was no kind of videos of him talking or anything like that. So it was for all I know, it could have just been, he might not have even been a human being. Who knows, man? I think he was. It's just not very good at making it seem like he was. And so obviously I didn't trust this guy, and there we go. I'm not working with this person. And I think that this is the trouble that a lot of the freelancers and everything, I mean, especially I'll put my hand up and say I'm having this trouble as well. And even though I'm probably more serious than most of these freelancers out here, but there's this problem because you're not putting anything out there. Nobody knows who you are. And this is the problem because so many people are trying to get themselves results without actually showing the world who they are. And that's the problem. You've got to actually exist. Honestly, personal brands and just simply existing, showing that you're doing what you say that you do, is so important. And it's because, and I've noticed this as well, going through how obviously the internet and online business has changed over the past few years. Things for example, we can use Hamza as a case study. You all know Hamza, right? So this guy obviously built up a cult-like following online, held it for about 2-3 years, tremendous. And he came in when the world needed that self-improvement content after the COVID pandemic and all that stuff. And he came in and he did that, and it was tremendous. But soon after that, though, obviously the trends have moved on, the people have moved on, people have discovered this content. They've either gone past it, they're either just rolling with it, or they've just given up on it, right? So obviously there's now very little need for that content anymore. But what Hamza was able to do was, and as well obviously he kind of messed up his own reputation by making some questionable decisions, obviously. Kind of wrecked his brand image a bit, did some damage there. And although his YouTube content right now, all of his views have just absolutely, obviously he's still getting views, but they've plummeted from what they were. And he's just been kind of backing and forth and just going here, there and everywhere with his YouTube game. He's still making a ton of money. And he's making a ton of money off school. like the website school.com. He's making a ton of money on there because he got in quite early, and he basically just owns that website. Like, anybody who knows anything about school, maybe you run school, he owns that website. Like, 100% he does. And the reason he's able to own that website is because people knew who he was, right? If he was some random guy that came up and started using school just out of nowhere, and that's how he started, as like a school guy, nobody would care. But people knew who Hamza was, because he'd been putting stuff out there, and he proved himself as a credible, like, self-improvement guy, right? Who could talk about those kind of topics. And so people have bought into his stuff on school. But he was able to do this because he had a brand. He existed. And, you know, it's kind of going on about, and I want to make a different video talking about this specifically, but, you know, a lot of these businesses out there and a lot of these freelancers and all these people, they're just basically like fidget spinners. Like, they're not built to last, right? You know, fidget spinners, they died out like so quickly. This is exactly what these people are. They've got businesses built around basically like an arbitrage opportunity, where they've just like got some kind of guru model or something, like, oh, I'll give you mentorship and I'll like teach you how to do this business model, right? That's not going to last. Genuinely, I reckon in the next 5 years max, those kinds of businesses are gone, because the landscape is changing, and they're not moving with the people. They're still doing things, and the trends keep changing. Like, we keep having new models and stuff emerge for these gurus to try and sell to you every single year. Like, you know, drop shipping, SMMA, copywriting, god damn those people. And, you know, now we've got growth operating, which is like the new thing. And there'll be something new next, like there will. But this is the thing, the people are moving and these people aren't moving with them. But the thing is, you can't very much move with these people unless you exist. And this is the thing, Hamza moved. Now, I know he's still doing his YouTube content, but the bulk of his money is 100% coming from school. It is. But that's because Hamza, he was able to move with the people, and because people knew who he was, the people moved with him. And this is the issue. If people don't know who you are, they're not going to trust you, they're not going to work with you. It doesn't matter how many Instagram DMs you send, most of them will get ghosted because people are just unprofessional these days. A lot of these offer owners on social media and stuff, they're very unprofessional, they're not very corporate, and so they will just ghost you because it's easier to just say nothing at all rather than give you an answer. Some of them just won't see your stuff because obviously, like, Instagram filters, like with the requests and stuff, and some people just don't check their DMs. And the people that you do get through to, you know, they might not be interested, you know, either because they're trying to sell you something. I mean, oh my gosh, the amount of people that I've gotten in with and they just try and sell me something, the moment I turn it on them, they just run. It's hilarious. But, you know, even if you get that far, people might just not trust you because they can't see that you're doing anything. And you don't need things like, obviously, things like case studies help. And obviously, demonstrating social proof and experience of working with people before. But at the same time, you know, David Ogilvy says that literally the best way to get clients is to just simply do good advertising. Show people campaigns that you've done. And you don't necessarily need case studies at the start. You'll get case studies as you go on. So long as you can use enough borrowed authority, and so long as you're actually like good at selling, which means you can sell yourself, you'll be able to get in with these people and you'll be fine. At least that's what I truly believe right now, and that's where I'm sending my tactics. Of course, you don't have to listen to me because I haven't shown you yet that I am capable of building this great advertising empire that I speak of, and you don't have to listen to me straight up. But I promise you, in a good amount of time, you will wish you had. Promise you that. But this is the thing, you've got to actually do good advertising and show people that you can do this stuff and exist, post stuff. That's why I'm going to try and post more YouTube videos, and they don't even have to be good, right? I've got another idea to talk to you about, just about why I don't edit my videos anymore. And I'll get that through to you probably very soon, because I just think it's completely pointless, and you don't need to make quality videos right now. You just need to sit down, put the camera on. Some of the richest people just sit down, put the camera on and talk. And it works. just do that, honestly. Make stuff, post stuff on Instagram, post content, create yourself an image, create yourself a presence on whatever platform it is that you want to. Network with people, speak with people, get into circles of people doing the same thing as you. That's what I'm trying to do my best at doing right now, is getting into groups that are doing similar things to me, so I can network with people, I can find and talk to people, and grow with others as well, because obviously I'm a very independent person, but I know the importance of networking. And that's just what you got to do. You got to exist. Sure, you've got to exist. If you don't exist, you're screwed. Because, I've been thinking a lot about this lately, about how the online business world is going to be changing over the next 5 years. And I think it's going to, because with the advancement of stuff like AI tech and new trends and platforms and all this stuff, man, I think it's going to change a lot. And I reckon that these... what I'm going to call them is fidget spinner businesses, or just kind of freelancers that aren't serious about stuff. Because obviously I'm classed as a freelancer right now, I guess, but I'm serious about going far past that. But these kinds of fidget spinner businesses are not going to last. They're not, unless you can exist and have a presence, and then you can make the move and go somewhere else. Unless you can do that, you're gone. So that's really just the importance of existing, and that is why I'm going to try my best to exist a bit more, because I haven't been, because honestly it's not my favourite thing to do a lot of the time, sit down and post content, because it kind of feels like I'm not doing anything. Obviously I know I am, but it kind of feels like I'm not, and it usually takes way more time than I anticipate it to, but yeah, I'm going to try and get some more stuff out to you guys from now on. Because I gotta exist, straight up. I gotta exist, man. But appreciate you listening the whole way through. If you wanna scroll on down below, and you can message me on Instagram, talk to me about anything that I've said about in this video. If you want to connect, that would be awesome. You can also sign up to my newsletter, where you can get updates about me, my business, what I'm doing, and some valuable insight there from me. And that's about it. I'll see you next time.